It is 10:13 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. It's the 24th day of October 2025, and this is episode 1197 of Bitcoin. And woohoo, going to Scarywood today. Yeah, so this is going to be a little bit of a shorter show. Got to get ready. If you live in the inland Northwest, like the panhandle of Idaho or central east to northern eastern Washington State, and you haven't been to Silverwood for Halloween where they turn it into Scarywood, you're missing out. You're missing out. I won't describe it any further. Just trust me. Google Scarywood in Idaho and you'll figure it out. If you were within driving distance and you haven't gone to this thing yet, dude, I don't know what's wrong with you. It's so freaking worth it, man. Especially if you've got kids, they will love you forever. I promise. It's like it's a small amusement park that they turn the whole damn thing into a gigantic haunted house, and it still has rides. But there's so much more than that. I mean, they really spend a lot of money on this, and it's not just the haunted houses and stuff. It's everything else. It's an experience. I promise you don't want to miss this. Okay, so go, just go. It's called Scarywood. Just Google it and you'll find out more. But that's not why we're here. This is all the news you can use and more about Bitcoin. We're going to have JPMorgan in the news. We're also going to be talking about CZ or Changpeng Zhao and Peter Schiff duking it out and a couple of other things. We got a giant retailer accepting Bitcoin. Is it what you think? Oh, I don't know. We're going to find out together as we always do. Tether will be in the news. Zelly is going to be in the news, and Relay is going to be in the news. Let's start with JPMorgan. JPMorgan reportedly plans to let clients borrow against their Bitcoin and shitcoin number one. Zoltan Vardai from Cointelegraph. Investment banking giant JPMorgan Chase is reportedly planning to let clients use Bitcoin and Ether as collateral for loans. Signaling Wall Street's continued move towards embracing digital assets. I'll bet this is sticking at Jamie Dimon's craw, because he clearly doesn't have the ability to send down a mandate to the rest of the crew saying no. Either that, or he secretly loves Bitcoin. Anyway, the initiative would allow JP Morgan's global clients to borrow against their Bitcoin and Ether holdings, according to a Bloomberg report. The offering would store clients' Bitcoin and Ether holdings through a third-party custodian, according to people familiar with the matter. If confirmed, the development could make the two leading cryptocurrencies more attractive for institutional investors, akin to the historic approval of the first U.S. spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund. A spokesperson for JPMorgan has declined to comment. The report follows months of speculation that JPMorgan could soon accept Bitcoin and Ether ETFs as collateral. JPMorgan has been considering cryptocurrency collateralized loans since at least July, when the first reports on this matter emerged. Still, the Financial Times previously reported that adopting Bitcoin and Ether as collateral assets may not occur until 2026, but the investment bank also expressed interest in stablecoins. Yeah, stablecoins. During an earnings call on July the 15th, when CEO Jamie Dimon himself said that they planned to be involved in stablecoins to better, quote, understand this emerging asset class. JPMorgan was among the first U.S. banks to venture into crypto, even though Jamie Dimon hates it. In 2020, it launched JPM Coin, a dollar-peg stablecoin. Then in 2024, the bank reported holding shares of different spot Bitcoin ETFs. The early integration came despite JPMorgan CEO previously expressing criticism of digital assets because remember in 2018, Jamie Dimon said that he had no interest in cryptocurrencies, and then in 2022 called it decentralized Ponzi schemes, but commented positively on blockchain and smart contract technology. So bend the knee, Diamond. You're gonna bend the knee. Now, Trump bent the knee. And we're about to see if Peter Schiff bends the knee. Probably not. I mean, let's be realistic. Peter Schiff is like, it's like talking to, I don't know, the Great Wall of China. It's just immobile. So newly pardoned, if you did not know, Changpeng Zhao got pardoned by Trump. Newly pardoned Changpeng Zhao and Peter Schiff agree to a Bitcoin versus gold debate. My question is why? Why do we have these debates? Do they change anything? No, they actually don't. This is why I never got into debate club. I should have, because the being able to debate is a skill that carries into a great many things, but going to a debate, when somebody wins the debate, does national policy change? Does world policy change? Does it ripple like electricity through the population of the planet and everybody changes their mind? No, it does frickin' nothing. But here we are again, and Micah Zimmerman from Bitcoin Magazine is going to tell us about it. CZ, or Changpeng Zhao, and Peter Schiff are supposedly taking their long-running argument to the stage. The Binance founder has agreed to debate the outspoken economist and gold advocate after Schiff publicly challenged him to a Bitcoin versus tokenized gold discussion. If you remember yesterday, I told you that he's launching this gold-backed token thing. Congratulations, Peter. You just invented something we already know about for like the last 7 years. It's ridiculous, but here we are. Anyway, the exchange follows Schiff's announcement that he is launching his own blockchain-based gold product, and CZ's sharp critique that such tokens are not truly on-chain. Quote, as much as you voice against Bitcoin, you are always professional and non-personal, CZ told Schiff on X. I appreciate that. We can have a debate about it. Schiff replied later, quote, absolutely. Several people have already reached out to me offering to moderate. Do you have a preference? End quote. All this debate talk arrives hours after President Donald Trump granted a full pardon to Changpeng Zhao. Trump said he wasn't guilty and was persecuted by the Biden administration. Schiff recently said that he's building a tokenized gold platform and neobank with a blockchain token called T-Gold. Woo! You might as well. Here's the meme, T-bag. It's going to happen, guys. Schiff just like opened the door and said, come on in, T-Gold. Oh, God. Somebody get this man a public relations officer or something. Oh, my God. Schiff describes it as real money for the digital age, and all of it comes amid a multi-year gold rally with prices hitting $43.80 per ounce earlier this month. Schiff argues that tokenized gold could provide a stable asset-backed alternative to Bitcoin's volatility, serving as both a medium of exchange and store of value. And CZ wasted no time in firing back on X. He called tokenized gold a trust me bro token, arguing that such assets rely on third-party custodians. And it goes on a little bit further, but we don't need it. They're going to debate, and CZ he's fully pardoned by Trump. I actually didn't expect that. He didn't need to do that. His voter base was not clamoring at his door saying, you've got to free CZ. It's got to be done. Ross Ulbricht was a different story now, wasn't it? Nobody gave a shit about CZ. Nobody cared. Besides, I don't even think the guy was in jail. I think he spent like a few months in jail. He can't be CEO of Binance anymore. He had to pay a massive fine, but he's still rich as snot. Honestly, whoop-de-doo. What you got to ask yourself, Ross Ulbricht, that was in the they are going to vote for me column. Now that Trump's already in office and nobody was giving a shit about CZ, why did Trump pardon Changpeng Zhao? I will bet you we hear more about this relationship, and that's in quotes, in the future. But right now, we got to move on to Bell's. Now, you might not remember Bell's, the retail store. It's spelled Bealls, and I used to pronounce it Beals, but apparently it's pronounced Bell's. But it's been around since, I don't know, the 60s, probably further than that. And they were definitely a staple anchor store in every American mall that you saw alongside Sears, JCPenney. This is the scale of the store that we're talking about, or at least it used to be that. They have since pretty much kind of gone away, but I guess they never filed for bankruptcy, and I guess they never closed, because this is the first time that I've heard about Bell's in a very, very long time. Is it a zombified Hail Mary? Let's find out from Alex Larry and Bitcoin News. Bell's becomes the first national retailer to accept Bitcoin payments. Bell's Incorporated, one of America's oldest retail chains, has made history by becoming the first national retailer to accept digital asset payments across all of its stores. The company has partnered with Flexa, a leading digital payments platform, to allow customers to pay with Bitcoin and also other digital assets. Bell's, which has still over 660 stores in 22 American states under the Bell's name, Bell's Florida, and home-centric brands, announced that customers can now pay with Bitcoin directly from over 300 supported wallet apps. The integration also supports more than 99 digital assets across multiple blockchains, including, of course, Bitcoin and the rest of the field, and stablecoins. The company is the first major national retailer to accept digital currencies from any digital wallet app across a dozen or more blockchains simultaneously. The new payment option is made possible through Flexa Payments, a digital infrastructure that makes digital asset transactions as fast and easy as card payments. The platform offers sub 1 second transaction speeds and instant confirmations, and automatically updates to include new wallet apps and supported tokens. Flexa co-founder Trevor Filter, what a neat name, Filter, said this move is embracing innovation. Quote, the retail legacy that Bell's has built for the last 110 years. Oh my God, I had no idea. It's incredible, he said. We're delighted to play a part in the next chapter of their innovation. End quote. Filter said Bell's long history and national presence makes them a perfect partner to bring digital payments into everyday shopping. Quote, it's no surprise that a company with this much staying power is now adopting the most important payments technology evolution the world has ever seen. The new payment system's launch coincides with Bell's 110-year anniversary. Wow, I'm still kind of shocked that they're that old. I had no idea. That means that they've been around since, what, 1910? Holy mother. The company, headquartered in Bradenton, Florida, has invested in technology to improve customer experience, from in-store kiosks and online shopping tools to now accepting digital currencies at checkout. Digital currencies, and this is a quote, will reshape how the world transacts, and Bell's is proud to be at the forefront of that transformation, said Matt Bell, Beall. So I guess they've kept it in the family. Chairman and CEO of Bell's Incorporated. Quote, our partnership with Flexa is about more than just payments. It's about preparing for the future of commerce and continuing to innovate for the next 110 years, end quote. Bell said the company has always focused on making shopping easy and modern for its customers, and digital assets are the next logical step. And I haven't seen a Bell's in a very, very long time, but they've got 3 brands and over 600 stores in 22 states, and all of them are going to start accepting Bitcoin. Yeah, I know, and 89 shitcoins, but whatever. I don't care. It's again, it's the user experience. It's getting people used to seeing this in the most innocuous of places like coffee bars and Bell's retail stores. You know, your wife goes and buys a dress or something like that, and you've given her like I don't know maybe they take lightning payments. You give her a lightning wallet that's loaded up with like, $400 or $500 worth of Bitcoin on lightning, and boom, yeah, she's able to do it. The user experience is very, very important, and I don't think we should poo-poo it. All right. So let's move on to CoinDesk, who is saying that United States consumer price index rose softer than expected, a 0.3% rise in September. So therefore, of course, Bitcoin added to gains. This is James Van Straten, by the way, from CoinDesk. The U.S. government shutdown has meant a dearth of official economic data this month. But, of course, the Bureau of Labor Statistics got enough of its group together to issue the Consumer Price Index report for September, and it came in better than anticipated. The CPI rose 0.3% month over month compared to economist expectations of 0.4% and August's 0.4% increase. On a year-over-year basis, the CPI increased by 3% against forecast of 3.1 and August's 2.9. Core CPI, excluding volatile food and energy prices, climbed 0.2% on a month-over-month basis versus expectations of 0.3. Year-over-year core CPI was 3% compared to an expected 3.1%. Bitcoin added to its earlier gains in the immediate aftermath. It was trading at around 11,600. I think it's fallen down to like 110, 200 at this point, but it is what it is. So the Bureau of Labor Statistics was able to pull a skeleton crew together, and they were able to finagle the CPI and release it. And Jiminy Crickets, it's better than expected. I'm sorry, but I'm going to call bullshit, but for the short term, it works for us. Let's run the rest of the numbers. Well, the energy sector was up a lot more earlier this morning, but Brent North Sea is still in the green by 0.15% to $66 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate is in the red, 0.16% down to 61.69. Natural gas is down 4 points to $3.20 per thousand, and gasoline is up 0.4% to $1.93 a gallon. And Merbon crude is in the green, 0.16%, 69.16. Shiny metal rocks are they're mixed today. Palladium is down almost a half. Gold is still down over 1/10 of a point, but hanging in there at 4140.9, or well, I guess I should say 90 cents. Platinum is up a quarter. Silver is down a third. Copper is up a third. And then into ag, we are fully mixed, with the biggest winner being, wow, cotton, 0.17% to the upside. Biggest loser is coffee, 2 1/4 to the downside. Meanwhile, live cattle is down 3. Woo. Lean hogs up a half, and feeder cattle are down 2.5. So it looks like the Argentina news is starting to shake out some of the higher cattle prices. I'm not sure if that's exactly why, but that's my gut feeling. S&P is up 0.89%, NASDAQ is up 1.17%, Dow is up 1.08%, and the S&P Mini 0.79% into the green field. 110,440. That is a $2.2 trillion market cap, and we can only purchase 26.8 ounces of shiny metal rocks with our one Bitcoin, of which there are 19,939,110 and 1/2 of. Average fees per block are low. Again, there are about 22 blocks carrying 50,000 unconfirmed transactions waiting to clear at high and low priorities of 1 Satoshi per VByte. Hash rate holding at 1.1 zettahashes per second. So you can do with that what you will. And from Machine Money, which was yesterday's episode of Bitcoin, and I got Jay with 2,100 sats. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate it. He says, I've gotten a standalone Android MP3 player and moved back to AntennaPod to play podcasts on it. So I'll have to boost the show manually after I listen now rather than streaming since I like to keep it offline. Hopefully this will also help the show. Oh, Jay, it always helps the show. I'm not sure if boosts have more or less impact than streaming on Fountain on a show's ranking. Thank you, sir. I don't know either. I'm under the impression, and I can't tell you why, that it's a combination of both, but I don't know. I really don't know. I'd have to talk to the guys over at Fountain about that, and it is what it is. Even if I find out something I don't want to find out, it's not like it's going to change. It's like having a debate, right? It does nothing. Anyway, Psyduck with 756 says, Psyduck. Justin with 5,000 sats. Thank you, Justin says, happy weekend, David and listeners. I know I'm going to have a good weekend. We're going to Scarywood. See, although we may run into a little bit of rain. Hopefully it's just a drizzle, slightly wet. Wish us luck. That's the weather report. Welcome to part 2 of the news that you can use. Tether. They've been in the news like solid for ever now because they keep doing different things. This time it's different again. Now Tether launches a decentralized artificial intelligence app, dataset to challenge big tech dominance. Josh Quittner out of decrypt.co. Tether Data, the technology arm of the world's largest stablecoin issuer, is expanding into artificial intelligence with the launch of what it calls the world's largest synthetic dataset for STEM, S-T-E-M, that's science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM-focused AI models. Earlier today, the company unveiled QVAC Genesis 1, a 41 billion token dataset built to train science and engineering-oriented language models, and QVAC Workbench, a cross-platform local AI application that runs models directly on consumer devices. Per Tether, QVAC stands for Quantum Verse Atomic Computer. Oh, I'm sorry, hold on. Quantum Verse Automatic Computer. You know what this... I've got to pause here. You know what came to mind? The 1950s. The early 1950s. Quantum Verse Automatic Computer is something like, it's like the turbo encabulator, man. I mean, it's the way that they would phrase things around science and engineering and math and that shit back in the 50s, in the atomic age. This is exactly the same language. It's like they're reaching back in time for their marketing team. I'm good with it. I really am. It actually sounds pretty cool. Quote, QVAC is Tether's answer to centralized AI, an entirely new paradigm where intelligence runs privately, locally, and without permission. No clouds, no gatekeepers, just you, your machines, and unstoppable intelligence, the QVAC website mission statement said. Oh, mission statements. Put a tie on the suit speak. The move marks a striking escalation of Tether's ambitions beyond finance. The company said the dataset has been validated on math, physics, biology, and medical benchmarks, and was designed to, quote, level the playing field for open source AI by giving researchers an alternative to proprietary data controlled by companies like OpenAI and, of course, Google. While QVAC Genesis 1 itself isn't a financial product, the broader QVAC ecosystem is being built with clear links to Tether's crypto infrastructure. In earlier company statements, Tether said QVAC's architecture will eventually integrate Bitcoin and its own stablecoin USDT, enabling AI agents to transact autonomously using digital assets. This suggests The initiative could evolve beyond data and local AI tools into a network where intelligent agents can not only learn and reason, but also pay, trade, and interact directly through blockchain rails. Quote, intelligence, it shouldn't be centralized, said Paolo Ardoino, Tether's chief executive officer, in a statement accompanying the release. Quote, with QVAC Workbench and Genesis One, we're opening the door to infinite intelligence, AI that lives, learns, and evolves locally on your own device, end quote. The company also released a free consumer-facing app called QVAC Workbench for smartphones, Android for now, and iOS, quote, within a few days, as well as desktop platforms, Windows, macOS, and Linux. Quote, with QVAC Workbench, all chats and interactions with the AI models remain local on device, where data is owned by the user and remains 100% private, the company said. It also introduces a peer-to-peer feature called Delegated Inference, which allows the mobile app to offload heavy computation to a desktop workstation while keeping all data private and local. Man, these guys are not messing around. Unlike conventional training material scraped from the public internet, QVAC's dataset is fully synthetic, generated, filtered, and validated by models trained on educational and scientific materials. Tether claims the data enables models to, quote, reason, solve problems, and think critically rather than simply mimic text patterns. The full technical breakdown is available in the QVAC research blog. The QVAC Workbench app lets users run large language models like Llama, Medgemma, and Quinn entirely on their phones or computers. Tether framed the twin release as part of a larger effort to create local intelligence, or AI, that operates independently of cloud servers. The company, which already dominates the stablecoin market with this USDT token, is positioning its artificial intelligence unit, Tether Data, as an advocate for decentralized infrastructure that keeps both money and information outside of corporate control. So who owns your AI? The project arrives amid intensifying debate over synthetic data's role in model training. While it promises privacy and scalability, skeptics caution that synthetic training data can amplify the biases or errors of their parent models, potentially locking in distorted reasoning patterns. Tether's announcement did not specify which generative systems produced Genesis One's content or how its quality assurance was performed, but even so, QVAC Genesis One represents one of the boldest open data experiments yet from a private crypto firm. I don't think any other crypto firm is doing this, so I think they're the only one. But if Tether's claims hold up under scrutiny, then it could give independent researchers and smaller labs a new foothold in the AI race and signal Tether's determination to influence not only the future of finance, but of artificial intelligence itself. I'm not surprised that Tether's doing this. You know, I mean, they're not going to get left behind. Tether's positioning themselves for being something a hell of a lot bigger than they started out for, and they're doing it at a pace that is almost eye-watering. It's honestly, it's impressive. I promise you, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fanboy, but I got to give credit where credit is due. I'm looking at these guys, and they start out with this shit token that everybody made fun of that is now the world's largest stablecoin, and then they started buying gold. They had already been buying treasury bonds. They already set that relationship up, but then all of a sudden they started buying gold. They started putting physical Bitcoin on their balance sheet. And then they start buying land, and then they start buying other companies, some of which are agricultural, and all of the land and agriculture stuff that they're involved with is in Latin America. I'm telling you to do not blink or shut your eyes at Latin America. That place is a freaking hotbed for what comes next. And if you're not watching it, you're going to miss it big time. Let's move on to Zelly. Zelly, or Zelle, I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, Zelle, you know, the payment app that you have on your phone. Zelle weighs stablecoin integration to expand its trillion-dollar payments network abroad. R.T. Wilson from The Block. Widely used United States payment network Zelle is eyeing an international expansion utilizing stablecoins. Quote, Zelle transformed how Americans send money at home. Now, we're beginning the work to bring that same level of speed and reliability to Zelle consumers sending money to and from the United States. Our goal is to bring the trust, speed, and convenience of Zelle to consumers. International money movement needs, end quote. Early Warning Services operates Zelle. The company said that this initiative, which is scant on details, of course, quote, marks an important step in expanding the reach of Zelle globally by leveraging stablecoins. Oh my God. Zelle has been exploring issuing its own stablecoin, according to a report from last month. According to Early Warning Services, approximately $1 trillion was transferred using Zelle just last year, while other payment networks like PayPal and Wise handle a lot of cross-border payments, and many crypto firms have sought to compete by offering low-cost ways to move money internationally. Zelle has a massive customer base that might be interested in the ability to, transfer money to other countries. On the stablecoin front, since the U.S. created a regulatory framework for stablecoins, many major banks have now signaled interest in issuing their very own USD peg token. And for now, Tether, issuer of USDT, and then US-based Circle, issuer of USDC, are the world's two largest stablecoin companies. All the banks missed it. They were too busy cheering Jamie Dimon, who was pointing at us and laughing, and now they find themselves playing catch up, and it's over. You blink in this space, and it's over. Maybe the Swiss will learn from that mistake. Swiss Bitcoin-only app Relay secures a MiCA license in France. Oh, joy. Micah Zimmerman, Bitcoin Magazine. Swiss Bitcoin app Relay has become one of the first Bitcoin-only companies to receive regulatory approval under Europe's landmark markets and crypto assets framework, the MiCA framework. The Zurich-based firm announced today that it had been granted authorization as a crypto asset service provider by France's Financial Market Authority. The approval marks a significant moment, not just for Relay, but for the broader Bitcoin ecosystem in Europe. The MiCA regulation, which came into effect earlier this year, establishes uniform rules for crypto companies across the EU, aiming to increase investor protections and reduce regulatory fragmentation between member states. While large exchanges like Binance and Coinbase are still navigating the complex licensing process, Relay's early authorization gives it a head start. Yeah, I'd say a massive head start as one of the first Bitcoin-only firms to achieve such compliance. Quote, we're incredibly proud to be the first of the first Bitcoin companies to get the MiCA license and are eager to expand to France, first, and Europe in a second step, said Julian Leninger, co-founder and CEO of Relay. Quote, this is a big moment for Bitcoin adoption on the continent. Founded in Zurich in 2020, Relay has grown despite a rough regulatory environment for digital assets. The company closed a Series A funding round last year that surpassing 500,000 app downloads and established itself as a user-friendly gateway for European retail investors seeking exposure to Bitcoin without any intermediaries. With the MiCA license secured, Relay can now passport its services across the EU, meaning it can operate in all 27 member states once formal notification procedures are complete. The company plans to introduce a suite of new features tailored to European users, including instant SEPA payments, SEPA, higher trade limits, fixed price transparency, and enhanced security standards. Relay also intends to invest in education and community building, launching localized learning resources and sponsoring Bitcoin events across Europe. Quote, "Our goal is clear. Bringing Bitcoin to as many people as possible, simple, secure, and regulated," said Adam Belican, co-founder and president of Relay EU. The company is also strengthening its governance with a newly appointed advisory board featuring industry veterans Juan Guillame, I can't pronounce it, Daniel Estrade, and Herve de Kerdrel, who will provide guidance on regulatory compliance and strategic growth. Relay plans to leverage its MiCA approval to expand across Europe with marketing campaigns and app updates scheduled for 2026. Yesterday, in another bit of news, I was going to talk about it today, but we'll just do it here. Blockchain.com announced it received a MiCA license as well, granted by the Maltese Financial Services Authority. Not a fan of blockchain.com, but they do exist, and now they have a MiCA license. So, but understand, blockchain.com is not Bitcoin only. They're pretty much all shitcoin, but whatever, don't care. Relay has always been very, very good for Bitcoin and very, very solid, a very, very solid team. Relay has always been that, and they have always been Bitcoin only, right? So we need more of that representing Bitcoin in places like the EU, United States, the rest of the West. I think outside of the West, the rest of the world can take care of themselves. It's clear that Africa and Latin America, they know what to do, and they're knee deep in doing it. So I don't think we have to worry about them. The people that we really have to worry about is the West. It's just that way. The West is just being too slow on the uptake. Okay, so that is all I had planned for today. Like I said, shorter show, not much I can do about it. Going to Scarywood, got to get ready. I'll see you on the other side. This has been Bitcoin and I'm your host, David Bennett. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and hope to see you again real soon. Have a great day.